So anyway, welcome to the Midseason Showdown Game Cafe in Independence, Missouri. This is the Kansas City metro area. And like I've said, like you can see on the screen, we have Josh Adams, aka FeintGWP. I don't know actually what the GWP stands for, but every time I see it, I'm like, GG, well played. Alright, so we are getting into this. We've got the players selecting their Pokemon here. It is a solo cast for me on the mic today, so I do apologize. I'm not going to apologize that hard. I'm going to have a great time today, and I hope you guys do too. So we've got Leonard on the left here. We've got Tapu, Lele, and Kartana. We've got Heatran, Incineroar, and the XYs. PogChamp over here, that is Josh Adams. He's got Groudon and Lunala. He's got Incineroar and a Thundurus. I'm not sure what he's going for here, but I'm excited. So getting to that Tapu Koko and the Kartana over here, I'm kind of expecting that Leonard is going to look at this a similar way that I am and see that there's a very fast electric type and a Thundurus that doesn't have Prankster. I'm kind of excited to see what Josh has cooked up today, figure out what's going on with this team. It looks like Leonard has locked in. He's got at least half an idea of what he wants to deal with Josh's team by using. Josh is finally locked in, so let's get going. This is the first round of the Kansas City metro area mid-season. Oh, I'm stupid excited for this. Again, Josh is known for bringing some kind of oddball things, so I expect to see some shenanigans going here. And then Leonard's going to go ahead and lead out with Incineroar, a very common Pokemon in this format, and Josh is going to do the same. So the nicknames are available now. Oh, I forgot that we had nicknames available again in... So Leonard does expect that Yveltal is going to give him bags and bags of money here in this format. And we've got the Mish, the Incineroar. We can expect to see some fake outs coming out here. Obviously, Incineroar coming in here with Intimidates, trying to bring some fake outs, some nice pressure here. And then Groudon coming out, setting up some Sun, does also help out Incineroars. So that's not a bad combination there. It's kind of interesting to look at this because right now, looking at this format in 2018 compared to like 2016, knockoff is actually particularly good because everything's got an item that you can knock off pretty much. And so we're seeing Josh go ahead and switch out Incineroar, not wanting to get that fake out. And like I said earlier, it's kind of interesting to see this Tapu Koko and then a couple things that aren't going to really struggle with something like Discharge. And I'm wondering if Josh has brought something like Discharge. We see that Tailwind coming out from Leonard. He knows the situation that he's in. He knows that Incineroar is not going to really do that much damage from Josh, so he just goes ahead and fakes out that Groudon and then sets up the Tailwind so that he's in a good position. And now another great play, making sure that he's got the terrain in his favor. There's not a whole lot of fake out going for him. He's going to go ahead and activate the Psychic Seed and the Snarl. He has a feeling that there might be something sneaky coming out of this this Tapu Koko, and he wants to reduce anything that's coming out. And then a Wild Charge. So, oh man. Josh coming out here, bringing out a Pokemon with a team that looks like he's going to have Discharge. And then he's just like, no, this might be a physical Tapu Koko. Bringing out the Wild Charge here, out of terrain, which at this point, no Intimidate, because he switches that in for the Intimidated Incineroar. Does a decent chunk of damage. And if Leonard hadn't switched in that Tapu Koko, that's really good information. That Yveltal would have gone down. Now Josh knows this, knows what's going on, has a pretty good damage calc in his head now. That, I don't know, Precipice Blade's doing a decent chunk of damage, but Tapu Lele going to be able to survive that. And Now Josh is going to go ahead, bring out this Incineroar. Try and intimidate things, make sure that Yveltal is kind of kept down. Bringing out a little bit of pressure, and now Psyshock going into Tapu Koko, going to prevent it from doing any extra damage, making sure that Tapu Koko is out of there, and this Yveltal can survive at least one more turn, and going for the Roost. Having a feeling that he's going to be able to pick up a KO and maybe a Protect, knowing that he's going to pick up that Tapu Koko. That's a really good read from Leonard. And now, Josh is in a position where he can fake out this Yveltal, but that Tapu Lele still in Psychic Terrain, preventing the fake out on Tapu Lele. This is going to be a tough position for Josh. Leonard is in pretty strong control, it looks like. So, again, if Josh wants to use fake out, the only place that he can put it is in that Yveltal. And right now, Tapu Lele not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage to a Dark type that is immune to Psychic moves, but might be able to get a Moonblast off. It doesn't look like Yveltal is a huge threat to Incineroar. So Josh's Incineroar is probably in the best position on the field, but this Groudon probably not going to be terribly happy. There goes a fake out right into the Yveltal, not doing a whole lot of damage. And again, that Moonblast that we talked about a bit ago, coming out and not picking up the KO on Groudon, trying to pick up on Groudon's lower special defense and get a little bit more damage, but unfortunately not boosted by that Psychic Terrain. But the Groudon goes down anyway. Tailwind is going to peter out just there. Sun is still up. And now we're 3-2 in Leonard's favor. That Incineroar still not terribly threatened, but now intimidated. Not going to be able to cycle out these Intimidate drops. So that Incineroar's Intimidate is going to stick, which is really unfortunate for Josh here. At this point, with Lunala up against two Dark types is not a great position for Josh to be in. I'm not going to count him out quite yet. Focus Blast. I think Lunala still gets Focus Blast. Not really up on the Lunala move pool, but it's definitely going to be tough. So we do get a Tailwind out of that Lunala, trying to get something in position, maybe. Leonard going out with this Yveltal, getting a Roost up, trying to protect itself as much as possible. Incineroar going for knockoff, going to knock off anything Lunala's got. Not going to be able to make it. I'm sorry, Lunala. You tried. You tried. Flare Blitz coming out here for Josh. Still boosted by the Sun, but with that Intimidate drop, obviously not doing a whole lot of damage. At this point, I think Josh's position is... this is going to be a hill to climb for him. I'm going to put that out there. He's still got Dark moves that are boosted. Match is going to go ahead and be forfeited. Josh has gotten about as much information as he thinks he's going to be able to get. Unfortunately, he didn't figure out what that fourth Pokemon was in the back. But knowing what Leonard has on his team, there's a good chance it was probably maybe a Xerneas. Just because that's his other restricted Pokemon. But Leonard being Leonard, you know, it could have been any one of his other two Pokemon out there. So we're going to go into the second match of the day while we're warming up on this first round of the Game Cafe Midseason. And again, we've got on the left-hand side here Leonard Craft III, a.k.a. DaWoblefet. And then on the right-hand side here, PogChamp, a.k.a. Feint, a.k.a. Joshua Adams. Josh is locked in really quickly here. He seems to think that he's got it figured out how he wants to play this next round, or next match rather. So jumping right in here, we saw the double Incineroar lead out last time. We saw Josh bring out the Groudon, trying to put up some Sun, and then we saw Leonard bring out Yveltal, which boosted the Dark typing on Incineroar. So we got double boosts on both of them, and it looks like we're finally going to see it. We're going to finally see, maybe, if there might be some discharge shenanigans coming. We've got Thundurus out on the field next to a Tapu Koko. Thundurus being a flying type does not get the boost of the electric terrain. Because electric terrain is up, we are going to be able to see a fake out potentially from this Incineroar. And then it looks like Xerneas from Leonard is just going to kind of try and do what Xerneas does. There might be a Geomancy, maybe. There might be a Dazzling Gleam, maybe. A Moonblast. But we are going to go ahead and see a Fake Out right into this Thundurus, trying to make sure that nothing crazy is going to happen. It does look like that Tapu Koko is likely to be a physical Tapu Koko with U-turn as opposed to Volt Switch. Pretty good indicator that that might be physical, which was kind of funny to see. I said at the beginning of this round that Josh Adams likes to pull some shenanigans, and when you look at his team on preview with a Groudon that's a ground type, resists electric moves, you see the Thundurus that is not Prankster Thundurus, and you see a Tapu Koko, and you kind of assume that there's going to be a Discharge in there somewhere, maybe some Disquake, but we do see a Geomancy come out here. There is a Kartana on the field for Josh Adams, but there is also an Incineroar for Leonard. So we're going to have to see how Leonard's going to be able to play this and keep the boosted Xerneas out on the field. And we're going to have to see how Josh is going to handle Kartana facing up against a very boosted Xerneas and an Incineroar that is kind of bearing down on it. I'm kind of interested to see what this Thundurus can do. I'm hoping that it doesn't get KO'd right away. I'm a little disappointed with that U-turn into Kartana. I think it's a good play. I think it brings out a lot of threats to Xerneas, and that puts Leonard in a difficult position. Leonard is going to go ahead and switch out that Incineroar, possibly thinking that he's going to need that Fake Out for a later date. Going to go ahead and bring out Yveltal, boosting dark moves. We've got boosted Fairy Aura, and then Leonard's just going to go ahead and pick up a KO on this Thundurus, prevent it from being able to do anything. And Josh, thinking that Xerneas is going to protect, not reading that situation quite correctly, putting a Sacred Sword right into Yveltal and doing fairly negligible damage given the situation that he's in, and taking a lot of damage on that Kartana. And so now you've got an Yveltal with boosted dark moves. You've got a Xerneas with boosted fairy moves. We've got the Fairy Aura, we've got the Geomancy set up, and it looks like Leonard is kind of leading the way here. Now he's going to go ahead and bring out that Incineroar one more time, get an Intimidate on Kartana, make sure that Xerneas probably isn't going to take a whole lot of damage, even though there might be a Smart Strike coming in there. He's going to go ahead and protect it just to play it even safer than that, knowing now that Tapu Koko is probably physical, because we've seen Wild Charge, we've seen U-turn, two very much physical moves out of that Tapu Koko, probably on the physical side. So Intimidate, a great move or a great ability to bring back in, drop the attack from both Pokemon. And now at this point, Leonard's got a Fake Out, free Fake Out here to whatever target he wants. And I mean, if you Fake Out that Kartana, give it a little bit of extra chip, it might be able to go down here. And so it looks like he's going to go ahead and switch this out. Josh, not wanting to lose that Kartana that quickly, bring out the Sun with the Groudon, and it looks like this is going to be a harrowing situation. But Moonblast coming out here, and he definitely wanted to make that Kartana disappear. Doesn't want to take any chances here. And, I mean, now Josh is down 4-2. This is going to be a really uphill battle. That Groudon just faded away like nothing. Kartana here, still going to be in a pretty difficult position. But at least, if Josh can take out this Xerneas, he's got a better chance here. Now, we did see last match that Tapu Koko, outside of terrain, was not able to pick up with Wild Charge the KO on Yveltal. So it would still be a very uphill battle for Josh here. That Moonblast just strong enough that it might be able to pick up a KO. So this is going to be a difficult spot for Josh. Leonard seems like he's in pretty good control here. He understood what position he'd back Josh into in the last match, and he's going to go ahead and pick up the KO with a not very effective but critical hit on Kartana. And I think that's a really unfortunate turn of events for him here. Wild Charge going into Incineroar, a little bit of recoil, and then Leonard is just going to go ahead and go for the knockoff. Scouting things out for a little bit for next rounds coming up. Maybe if Josh makes it into top cut, knowing a little bit more information about your opponent, not wanting to take the recoil damage, Flare Blitz, but getting a bit more information on his opponent's team. Now he knows that Tapu Koko is Choice Scarf, which explains why he didn't switch it out, or had to switch it out instead of going for U-turns in previous round or previous turns. And we go ahead and see that Josh is going to close that out with a little bit of a forfeit